Yeah. We are live, baby.
We're live.
Welcome to the show. Let's get a little bit of a time for the music to set in, kick in. Also need to give Mati a link, Mati Greenspan. Mati is my co-host. I'll give you the TLDR of Mati. Mati likes to ask hard questions, right? I'm giving it to you because otherwise he would give it to you. Mati likes to ask hard questions about if you're doing a demo, like be prepared for a nitpicking from Mati. He's very critical, but he does it out of love and he does it out of a sense of getting to the truth. So we'll have Mati up here soon. And then he will be talking. But what's up? Welcome back to the Breakfast Show. It's great to be doing these. As you see behind me, I've got a blank wall. This is my new space. This is my layout. I'm going to put up this. This is an event that we did, right? You can see some sponsors. Hopefully, COTI will sponsor one. Poolz will sponsor one soon. So you can check out the sponsors over here. We had a party a couple of weeks ago, and I'm going to start putting some art over here. So if any of you guys have any artists that like you that resonate with you, I want like a cypherpunk classy look over here, like mixing like cypherpunk sort of neon elements with a hint of minimalist class. That's kind of how I'm going. GM to Mati, welcome to the show. How are you this morning? I missed you over Passover.
Yeah, good, man. Really good. We're having a nice pumpity pump over here, testing some levels. It looks like we just got a little bit of a breakout this morning.
What we at this morning? I haven't looked for like 1 hour.
Well, we are over the line, my friend. We have stepped.
What lines? Show me the lines. Let's see the lines. We're opening with the lines. GM to do a little bit of lines.
Here's the first thing. The first line you want to take a look at, right? This is the downward
I've seen that
line. Now, everybody draws their trend lines a bit differently, so it would be feasible until yesterday morning to have drawn it like this, right?
Yeah.
But now this line is toast. No matter how you draw, you can't really intellectually, honestly draw it like this. It doesn't really make sense.
Yeah.
That line is dust. We can delete it.
I love these trend lines analysis. Like, what do? Do you draw wick to wick? Do you draw base to base? Or you trying to touch as many wicks as base? Like, people just draw whatever fucking makes their point look good. But as you said,
it was exactly what I was saying. You're exactly asking the question, because every chartist will draw it differently. Some will include the wicks, some will not include the wicks. Some will draw right through the candlestick if that's what suits their purpose. However,
talk to me about the blue line. What's that blue line? Because I see we're getting very close to that.
The ultimate point is whether you draw it like this, like that, or like that. You can't really draw it like that. So
that's
no matter how you draw it, it's broken.
That's to hit at least twice.
That's what my point was. So all chartists are going to chart artists are going to agree on that one. The blue line is the 200-day moving average. That was the one that I've been waiting for to see a breakout from the blue line, 83,358. We're now at 88,480, so we're about $70 above the blue line at the moment. Clearly above it. So yeah, for me, this is a breakout. This is time to buy, time to apply a little bit of leverage. Obviously, get careful with those stop losses because you can get liquidated. For those of you who've been accumulating throughout the dip, pat yourselves on the back. You made it. We're going higher from here, folks.
Epic. So that blue line, that's the 200-day moving average, right?
Sir. The one and only. We can apply
we're very close to that. We're very, very, very close. I want to see a clean break because we broke the 200-day moving average at the end of March. But then we went straight back down. So now I want to see a clean break. I don't think we're going to get there. I think I don't want to get prematurely bullish. I think the market's still in a holding pattern until your boy Trump sorts out like whether he's tariffing and who's tariffing and how he's tariffing. And when him and Chi finally sit in a room, then we might get the pump that we've been looking for. Until then,
if America starts buying Bitcoin, all that goes out of the wall, out of the picture. The other thing that we want to take a look at is Bitcoin dominance. Okay, this is one that we've been following very closely, well above 64%. Not only is this a cycle high, this is a 3-cycle high at the moment. Well, not 3-cycle high. Last time it was here was 2021. And then if we zoom out all the way to where Bitcoin dominance started, 2018 level when the ICOs really became a thing. We've been climbing. You can see this climb over the last year and a half is very, very consistent, very mighty. Altcoins falling by the wayside now that Gary Gensler is out of the picture. And the meme coins and the celebrity coins, they no longer have as much of a purpose anymore. And we're in that wonky period where utility coins have not had a chance to prove themselves yet. So they haven't had a chance to take on the market share. And therefore, all of the trash is getting flushed out of the system. People are consolidating into Bitcoin. Will we have an alt season? I believe so, but not right now. Only after we have a chance to take a breather and analysts can really dive into what makes a project valuable, how to analyze the future of these networks. And I think that there will be a lot more of those type of utility tokens and stuff like that coming online over the next year or so. So be patient with those things. For now, all you need to know, stack, sats, and hodl.
Amen. I totally agree with you. I think, we'll get into the alt season part with the gents in a few minutes. But I want to meet our guests before I talk shit and before I show you a little bit of charts. I think there's still some things to analyze because there's a question. Yesterday I was driving home and I was listening to, have you guys listened to the All-In episode with Larry Summers, who was Bill Clinton's Treasury Secretary? It's pretty fiery. It's pretty feisty because you have David Sachs on there, who's the obviously the AI and crypto czar in the United States, and then you have Larry Summers, who was a Bill Clinton Treasury Secretary, and they're just duking it out about tariff policy. So it helped me understand a lot more what's at stake. It seems like we're still in a big, as I mentioned, a big uncertainty, big clouds hovering over the markets, and we're not going to get the. I might be wrong. Hopefully, I'm wrong. I'm surprised on the upside. But until there's a resolution to the tariff, or until J Powell decide to turn the printer back on, J Powell, do it for our bags, right? It's kind of ironic that Bitcoiners, hard money advocates, are screaming for inflation, but we're only screaming
for fear. Man. Don't give in. Don't give in to the temptation, man. Don't give in.
No, I want fear to unravel. I want fear to unravel. I want like in order for fear to unravel, it needs to go to the extreme. Like that's what they're doing with central bankers. They're pulling their capacity to print money, to manipulate money supply, to inflate currency. They're pulling it to the extreme, and one day it's just going to snap. GM to Andrei and Brad, who are joining us from COTI and Poolz to talk about a fun integration. We'll be on that soon. But first, a brief intro. Andrei, welcome to the show. And nice to have you here.
Nice to meet you all.
Would you give us a bit about you, your background, where you're from, what you do? Feel free to throw in a few tickers, whatever it is you want to share to start the morning. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, I am a BD lead in Poolz. Let's say I'm speaking of all the projects are coming on Poolz. So let's say with my team, we're analyzing together the best projects to bring for our investors, for our community. Yeah. Regarding Poolz is the leading decentralized launchpad. Just in some words, helping early stage Web3 projects raise capital in a secure, transparent, and efficient way. Yeah. So let's say we have become the go-to platform for projects that want to do things right. I mean, from fundraising to token distribution. And most importantly, we put the user experience at the center. That means QIC when needed, fair and equal access, smooth token claiming as well, and even refundable IDOs. Just for your information, Poolz is first launchpad which, let's say, integrated refundable IDOs. After that, in 1-2 months, we saw this function overall launchpad. Yeah, so what does it mean? If the project doesn't hit, let's say, certain milestones, participants can get their funds back. So let's say it's 100%, they're 100% secure from that. Yeah? And it's about trust. Because, for example, if some projects are not okay with refundable IDOs, then you know what it can mean. Yeah, we saw, for example, some projects in the last months, years, that nobody can secure, let's say, just only Moon, right? Even Luna, FTX, Mantra, DAO as well. They don't performed very well. Yeah, for the projects that we support, Poolz brings serious value. I mean here access to a premium community of real users, of thousands active investors right now, which we have, technical and advisory support, and infrastructure that actually scales.
Awesome.
I think
And
that's all regarding Poolz, let's say in some
yeah,
words.
what about yourself, bro? Tell us a bit about. We know how the industry works, but what about Andrei? Where you? So how long have you been in space? What brought you here? What fun things do you like to
Regarding,
do when you're not
okay, I
clicking
mean,
buttons?
you're asking about my experience, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm in this industry by 4 years, I think, since January 2021. I joined it. Let's say I left my job 9 to 5, and when I found first time some information about investments, about stocks, and so on. I found also about Bitcoin, about crypto, and let's say I entered around 2 or 3 months before first alt season, from March, let's say from spring 2021. So when I got some gains, I understood exactly that this is the space I want to be here, let's say forever. And maybe that's why I'm still here, because I saw with my eyes how many, let's say, tokens just grow many X's during one night. Yeah, I have many friends that already left this space because they joined it after me in 2022 in bear market, and I told them, guys, hold, guys, be strong. But anyway, they couldn't stay here anymore because they were down, let's say, 90%. They didn't buy Bitcoin. As me, to be honest, I didn't buy it in 2022. But yeah, staying here, I joined in, let's say, in Launchpad business in 2022. And since then, I'm still here, building, working, providing the best services for community. Just in some words, yeah. In Poolz, I am by almost 2 years, and as you might know, we managed to do the most of the sales in crypto space. We did over 180 IDOs since the launch, since 2020, and raised for these companies more than 50 millions of dollars. So not sure if any other launchpad did such fundraising like us.
Epic. Thank you for that. Brad, you're on the mic. GM to you.
Yeah, for sure. So, hi everyone, welcome to the space. Great to be here. So my name's Brad. We actually, I've been a COTI community member for about 4 years. So I'll give you a quick overview of my pathway into Web3. I was a COTI community kind of lead for about 4 years. Was kind of just building out the community, helping to scale COTI as best I could. I guess over that period, I was slowly integrated into the team. I had a chance to be a COTI ambassador, helped to run some social channels and kind of slowly assume different levels of authority. And then very recently, about 1 month ago, joined COTI in an official capacity. So I'm a business development manager here at COTI. Thank you very much. It's a rare pathway from community member to Web3. So very grateful for that opportunity. But yeah, look, a little bit about COTI. So for those of us who don't know anything about COTI, we have been in the space since about 2017. So we're a real OG. Back then, we actually pioneered technologies like directed acyclic graphs. We were originally an enterprise-grade payments play, and we launched several different solutions from proprietary private payment networks through to stable coins like JED that launched on Cardano, and then several different payment solutions like COTI Business Pay and Ada Pay. Since then, we've grown an enormous community to hundreds of thousands. And in the last 2 years, we really took a step back and said, okay, well, what's the biggest challenge we believe there is in Web3 for the next 10 years? And for us, that was privacy. So we're very happy to say that about a month ago now, we launched our mainnet, which is a privacy-centric Ethereum.
Before you go lunge into that, can you explain to me your thought process of why that you think the biggest issue is privacy? I mean, is that what kind of, what was your methodology on determining that, and how is that exactly?
Yeah, because I mean, I think the overarching, I guess, thinking is, if we look at
and sorry, just let me preface with philosophy on this, my understanding. And we're talking about the masses, right? We've seen how easily people are willing to throw privacy to the sea, as far as like Facebook, for example, right? Suddenly we have, a generation who's like, okay, everything is online now. I don't have a private life anymore. And they fully embraced it. And then even when it came out that Facebook is leeching your data, in order to serve it to the advertisers, there's still like some people like you and me were like, no thanks, Facebook. But for the most part, people don't give a shit. So I'm just wondering, like, why you think like the main hurdle for crypto is privacy in the next few years.
Yeah, well, I think you've actually raised a really good point, right? And there's a few central actors who assume a huge amount of control over user data, user profiles, and there's a lot of revenue to be made off the back of that. And depending on how you look at that, it could be seen as a bad actor. So I guess our vision is that the ownership of the user data should be with the user, and we need to decentralize that as best we can. So first off, you mentioned things like Facebook. That is obviously a practice that any centralized figure shouldn't have that much control over user data. So that's the first problem. The second is, you mentioned people throw privacy to the sea. And I think what you mean by that is, users take privacy for granted. And if you look at Web 2, privacy is a guarantee, and it's a prerequisite for most companies to operate, right? You would immediately violate different privacy regulations. So privacy is deeply rooted in all Web 2 enterprises. So for us, when we look at Web3, if you're really going to bring companies, institution, enterprise into Web3, you have to accommodate the same privacy mechanism. So we have developed a solution called Garbled Circuits, which is a multi-party computation tool. It's a privacy tool that has been lab tested to be around 1.8 to 3,000 times faster than some of the existing privacy technologies in Web3. It's about 250 times lighter, and that essentially means that we can do complex operations on encrypted data in a cost-efficient and really speed-effective way. So for us, this is all about, it's all about bringing all of the Web3 applications to bear with privacy.
Does that satisfy you?
You go ahead, Dudu.
I'm saying, does that satisfy why you think privacy? Because I agree with you on your premise of your question. Like, it's not something that the users care about, but it does make sense that on the enterprise B2B level, that is something people care about. And I think it's one of those things that once we cross the Rubicon, once we get to a place where, like right now, you've got a business AI agents that can do finance, right? So at that certain level, like when you're giving technology so much more dominion over your life, your finances, your health, your well-being, your conversation, at some point, I think the zeitgeist, the mindset is going to tip, and people are going to start to realize that you don't want all your trades private. You don't want your biological data private. You don't even want your group chats. Sorry, you don't want them public. You want them private. You don't want them public. You don't want your data public. You don't want your group chat public. If some people saw my group chat, I would never get work in this industry again. If they saw my boys chat with my homies from South Africa, like I would be cancelled from every single show. So let me talk to you about let me talk to the audience at home, right? Because we usually do this and we haven't done this and we're 20 minutes in. We have Hernan with a question from home. Thank you, Hernan. And we will answer that. We'll ask that question in a second. But first, if you're listening in, GM to Yalla Sambarus, who is somewhere in the some Asian country, because it's very early there.
Alex
right?
is in Africa. I can confirm he's a member of the
Africa.
Quantum community. And and Hernan here in Israel. But we still need another 3 people to say GM in the chat.
Yeah,
for us to have more commenters than panelists. So let's at least get to that high water mark over here, please. GM people at least.
Yeah, it's kind of it's a bit hard to get a lot of humans sometimes. Sometimes we get more humans. Sometimes we get more bots. It's fine. There's an endless battle. The bots are sleeping now, though. It's not past their bedtime. But let me ask you, Brad.
We're up late partying last night. That's what happened.
Yeah. So Brad, Hernan wants to hear about COTI agents. So COTI agents is a different project. It's building on COTI, but it's not. Who is Tracer from the COTI community. So we have another human. We're almost tied, right? We have 3 humans. We have a GM from LinkedIn user. I don't even know who that is on LinkedIn. StreamYard needs to up its
definitely
game.
Somebody.
But I think it's human. I think we're on the.
All right. Thank you very much, everybody. We've passed the number.
1, 2, 3, 4. No, we're equal. We need 1 more to surpass. We're all-time high. Okay, so
this trader link. You're right. 4. Okay, we need one person to comment.
Let me dive into it, but before we get into it, I want to just kind of show a few more charts of like where I'm thinking about the market, and then we will dive into COTI Poolz integration, which has gone live. It's in the process of being tested, deployed, announced, pumped out into the world, and I'm very excited for that integration, as we'll soon discover. But first, I want to show you guys this little bit of OPM that kind of spot ETF flows are positive once more, right? I want to get the data from yesterday, but yesterday I know they were positive. It's just the new hedge, all the platforms, they're not updated for yesterday's data yet, but spot ETF are trending positive. It ended up $81 million that Albert bought on Thursday. But obviously, if you look back, that's only a blip in the ocean of what the ETF flows were like after the election win. So that's something I'm watching very carefully. Like, can we kind of overcome, can we get closer to $100 million in daily ETF flows? And if that happens, then I think the bull run is back. I think that's something I'm watching alongside with the 200-day moving average. Obviously, the hash rate of Bitcoin is at all-time high. Like, the hash rate of Bitcoin just keeps climbing. Oh, a big dip over here. So, the hash rate kind of...
What happened there?
I don't know. That's maybe you can tell me. You've got the miners right.
No, our profitability per petahash has been dropping steadily lately with the hash rate. So it's good to see we're going to have a break in our profitability this week. But
Yeah, so
I mean, none of that means anything. We're upgrading. We're putting out a major press release today. We're going to increase our overclocking by about 50% and reduce our electric cost by about 50%. So, but it is good to see that hash rate is not climbing out of control after that recent all-time high.
yeah, hash rate seems to be like bouncing around. It's good for miners, but it's very crazy that there's sort of, you see over here, like you see like a massive divergence between the Bitcoin price and the hash rate. Like Bitcoin price is dropping from all-time high, and then the hash rate carries on. Like people aren't slowing down the machine. Perhaps it's a delayed reaction. Perhaps hash rate reacts late to the price, Mati.
As long as you got a price of 5 or 6 cents per kWh, you should be fine. If you're running anything, even the S19s will be profitable at those prices right now. So it's been harder for some of the weaker miners or people that are running older tech or have higher electric cost, but and there is a little bit of a squeeze going on for those who have thin margins. But for those who are running efficiently, there's no issues at the moment. I mean, some people, some are able to be profitable as low as $30,000 per coin.
Yeah, interesting. $30,000 a coin. Hopefully it never gets there. Let's dive into the main course for today.
It means that you're buying each coin for $30,000. So I mean, that's the point.
No, I hear you, but like for me, I think that I heard a line that I love. The perfect amount of Bitcoin allocation is you don't feel bad. You're stoic. Like if it goes down, you're happy because you can buy more, and if it goes up, you're happy because, well, Lambos.
So, Sailor said it best. Volatility is a blessing, right? It gets rid of
volatility is vitality.
Hands and the old.
You got to point that one to the T, because I don't know. Sailor's an interesting one. Like I've kind of like I'm debating whether I should start putting out more micro strategy content, because I like the guy. I buy into the cult somewhat. I'm a bag holder, but I also obviously see the side of the naysayers, the people who are kind of pointing out that Sailor's concentration of BTC can become a potential risk on the entire market. Right now, he chooses not to sell.
I'll listen to Michael Saylor in my morning meditation, but I'm not about to buy his shitcoin stock. Upset.
No, I think it's right now, 340, 330, where's MSTR? It's a little overpriced, but if you can get in under 300, I think you have many legs to run. I think when the bull market returns, when you start to see those 100, 150 million ETF flow days, when you start to see mania on the timeline, that macro strategy, that MSTR premium, I think is going to balloon out of control like it did before. Because people...
Let me just put a bow on this for you, Dudu. I mean, Sailor preaching about the purity of holding Bitcoin and selling you a stock. I mean, it's just ludicrous. And it's a contradiction of everything that he stands for. So if he's telling you to buy Bitcoin and selling you a stock at the same time, it's just silly.
Yeah, I hear you, but I think he's not telling anyone to buy only stock, obviously, and the way I see it is, Sailor MSTR has managed to, financialize Bitcoin to the most perfect way. So it's not just MSTR. He's not just selling you a stock. He's selling you a convertible bond, if that's what you're into. He's selling you preferred stock with a perpetual yield, if that's what you're into. He's selling you. You've got MSTY, which is a derivative, like it's a derivative of MSTR, that sort of using an option strategy to give you increase 120% yield on your security. So you have a whole slew of products, not just the stock that he's selling you. And obviously that doesn't come in lieu. I understand people who say buying MSTR is not buying Bitcoin, because a lot of people might think, okay, I might as well get exposure to Bitcoin through. It's not. You're buying something else. You're buying a Bitcoin flavored financial instrument, but it's something else entirely. It shouldn't be in the same. It's not, for me. It's not in the same mental bracket as my Satoshi. I've got my Satoshi, and then I have my 401k stock market money, and I know Bitcoin. I'm not going to now invest in do growth analysis, like start analyzing the balance sheet of General Motors or some shit like that. Like, I know Bitcoin, and I know what price level I can get MSTR, and I know what price level I can get MSTY. So I kind of use my advantage over there. But enough about me. This one's about you, Brad, and you, Andrei. We want to talk a little bit about the integration that happened this week. But first, Brad, I want you to get me a little bit more clear on, essentially COTI, layer 2 privacy, what that means. Like, I'm kind of familiar with privacy networks. I was kind of very early on community member in Secret Network on Cosmos, and that was like the real first sort of private smart contract chain back 2021, 2020 area. And then recently there's like a whole bunch of projects. There's Nillion, there's obviously Secret still around, the Phoenix. There's a whole different approaches that they take technically, whether it's homomorphic, like FHE, fully homomorphic encryption, or zero knowledge, or there's a lot of different acronyms that nerds love that are underpin these networks and make them run. So maybe give us a little bit about kind of what makes COTI different over there, and then we'll get into the specific use case of DeFi.
Yeah, of course. I mean, well, first off, it wouldn't be crypto of different acronyms, right? So we can't make it easy for people. But yeah, you mentioned a couple of different privacy technologies like FHE, fully homomorphic encryption, zero knowledge, and then you have, I think the other one people might be most familiar with is like trusted execution environments as well. But for COTI, we use a different technology. So I'll take one step back because I don't think we covered it properly earlier, but we're in Ethereum layer 2. Where we kind of benefit from the security of Ethereum, but we also have another solution that allows us to scale privacy to many different chains, which I can come on to. So we don't use a FHE, TEE, ZK. We use a novel solution called garbled circuits. If you're not familiar with garbled circuits, they were first really developed in like the 1980s, but they were never made applicable to a blockchain until very recently. So we partnered with Soda Labs, who helped to bring garbled circuits onto the blockchain for the first time. Now, garbled circuits are a multi-party computation tool. Essentially, that means that you have multiple people involved in computing against a function. And we're able to do that at speed and cost effectiveness on a public blockchain. So as I mentioned earlier, garbled circuits are about 1.8 to 3,000 times faster than like fully homomorphic encryption and other privacy technologies. They're also about 250 times lighter. So what that means for COTI and for apps and users on COTI is you're able to do complex logic on encrypted data. So that opens up a world of different use cases, from AI models on encrypted sensitive data to confidential transactions and balances in DeFi, to confidential DAOs and many other use cases. Privacy is really like a meta narrative that can underpin pretty much every use case we have out there. So beyond being our own privacy chain and offering super cost effective, super fast privacy to apps and users, we also have an offering called privacy on demand. So as I mentioned earlier, because garbled circuits are about 250 times lighter than leading privacy technologies, we're able to scale that privacy to about 70 plus different blockchains. And that essentially allows you to tap into COTI's privacy tools from wherever you are. So we're not trying to compete with different privacy technologies. Each of them are, incredible at doing different functions in their own right. For us, we're just trying to set up a standard that allows people to tap into privacy and be confidential where it suits them best.
Epic. So that's with regards to, obviously, I'm trying to understand more and more. we're going to have Avishai from Soda Labs on at some point as well to get more into the technical of garbled circuit. What they mean, I kind of understood homomorphic encryption. At the time from talking to some people, that it's about allowing any type of computation to take place between two secret inputs, and then having that input be secret, that output be secret. And you're telling me now garbled circuits is a faster way of doing that. It's a more customized way of doing that.
Yeah, it's a faster, lighter way of doing that, right? I think FHE is a I see a comment from Vlad, who is also in our BD team. Very biased opinion.
The COTI community showing up today.
Yeah, exactly. The COTI community always shows up. But yeah, to your point, so FHE is an incredible piece of technology. It's got some phenomenal use cases. I think the challenge that is like a common consensus that people accept is that it's quite clunky and quite heavy, and it's not super cost effective, which means it's very difficult to scale and use in various different environments. Garbled circuits, you're right, can do the same thing. It's a multi-party computation tool that allows you to compute a function over encrypted data. So it's very similar to FHE in that sense, but it is much more scalable. It's more cost efficient and obviously a lot faster. With ZK tools, I think they have again incredible applications. They are much more broadly used in Web3, but the functionality is lesser in the sense that you can prove or verify that something is like true or false, or you can create like binary outputs, but you're not able to do complex logic. So that's what really sets apart garbled circuits there. I hope that answered your question on FHE and garbled circuits.
Yeah, definitely answers. It's a lot to wrap my head around. But now I want to talk about DeFi a little bit. Like, how do you see privacy playing in DeFi? Because obviously, we spoke a little bit earlier about how when it comes to your social media data, what you're liking, what you're watching online, very few people care about that. Like, that's private. Like, we give our data to everyone all the time. DeFi seems like it's a little bit different. Seems like you would think that people would want to be a little bit more circumspect with the data they share, but obviously everything's on chain, everything's transparent. A lot of people, they're using, their ENS handles to trade, so you can easily track. Obviously they have side wallets and they're sniping from here and there, but you can track their main wallet. That seems to me like having public, transparent by default is not the best way to go for finance. But I want to kind of see how you guys look at it from the COTI side.
Yeah, definitely. I think I feel like I'm always banging my head against the wall, and I'm trying to really demonstrate how important privacy is to a user. Because you're right, in most use cases, we're not too concerned, and we're not too concerned until we get burned. Like, that's the truth of it, right? Privacy only matters once you realize that privacy does actually really matter. So in a lot of spaces, we're still educating the user on why privacy is so important. To your point, I think DeFi is a slightly different arena. It's probably because money's involved, right? We care a lot more when our own money is involved. That really kind of spurs you forward. But yeah, for DeFi, I mean, you raised the point around like pseudo anonymity, right? Like everything can be traced back to wallets, but as soon as your identity is linked to that wallet, you are no longer private. And so in a sense, everything on a public blockchain is surprisingly public, which many people are quite keen to overlook. So when it comes to DeFi, we're really interested in kind of bringing privacy to bear, and using garbled circuits to make private transactions, private wallet balances. I think that's super important. One thing that quite a few people know about, some don't, is like the maximum extractable value and like sandwich attacks in DeFi that you commonly see, where a user gets front run on their trade and then kind of like reverse run the other way. So when it comes to DeFi, we want to bring encrypted transactions such that you can't be a target for bad actors in like the sense of MEV. But it's also, for DeFi, it's no different to Web 2, right? Like, nobody wants their bank account to be public. Nobody wants to see their spending history to be public. And so for us, it's just applying the same principles to DeFi in a broad sense.
I want other people's spending to be public, like politicians and such. That would be nice.
Oh yeah, of course. But yeah, it's, you know, for the average person, we want our spending habits, we want our investment strategies to be private, and beyond just.
What do you think about the ECB's upcoming central bank digital currency?
It's not something I know too much about, so I'll let you lead on that one.
Oh no, okay, never mind. That's
you mentioned the politicians like spending. Yesterday I went off at my bank manager, so I'm supposed to be getting a client money, you know, paid in from overseas, and the bank manager obviously sends me. Obviously, first of all, they take off $10 because there's a fee that I don't know about that I need to pay. Right? Then they send me a message. There's a you know a dollar deposit waiting for you, but we need to know why. So I said to them, because it's a client. Now I need to send forms, and I need to send my birth certificate, and I need to send them that. I said to him, bro, if a politician wants to move, you know, 5 million, 10 million, 200 million US dollars, they put it in a line item at the bottom of a spending bill, omnibus bill. They get it in the morning, and no one asks questions. And until Elon Musk comes, no one even gives a shit. But when I want to give me a couple $100 so I can buy my kid some ice cream, a juice after he finishes school, right? You ask me, you know, you interrogate me like it's my money. It's not like these banks can't disappear off the face of the earth quick enough. And you know, obviously, privacy is a big part of that, because you will never be able to get mass adoption, like everything on chain. You know, as we all dream and feel and build, like all the stocks, all the bonds, all the credit, all your spending, your mortgage, your car loan, everything on chain. If we don't have privacy, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, I totally agree. And then, I mean, it also extends. I mean, just as we're on the subject of DeFi, you know, one of the emerging patterns that I don't even know if we can call it emerging anymore. It's probably it's getting to the point of maturity, but it's agents, you know, and people having like trading strategies that, you know, they I think Andrei's just gone through looks like
it was amazing. I don't know, that was real amazing. Sorry,
a couple of straight notes over you there.
Disappeared.
But yeah, one of the things we talk about is agents, right? Where you have like confidential like trading algorithms or trading strategies, or even if you're a managed fund and you have like a portfolio strategy, these are things that you can't bring on chain without privacy, right? Because you immediately lose your competitive advantage. You would cease to exist very quickly because any advantage you have would be near immediately eroded. So for us, like, and somebody mentioned COTI agents earlier as well. You know, we're really looking at, okay, so people should be able to take ownership of their own agent. You should be able to encrypt and keep private the logic of that respective agent. And as long as you can cryptographically prove the yield, which you can do with garbled circuits, then people can subscribe to that model, right? So that's like an emerging market in DeFi that we think is going to be really exciting. It's giving people the autonomy to create agents, preserve the IP within those agents, but enable other people to subscribe to it and use it as a revenue model.
Question from the audience here for you, Brad. I want to know if at COTI Ship smoked a little grass this weekend.
COTI Ship did not smoke any grass this weekend. He was on an Easter break with his family, so I don't think that would have gone down.
Okay.
I was not touching grass, walking dogs.
I know at least one person on this panel has smoked grass over the weekend.
Is that Andrei? It's definitely Andrei.
No, it's illegal in the country where I'm based. If I would be in Netherlands, then it would be, let's say, another topic.
Sure. Are you in Dubai?
No. I'm based in Romania currently.
Romania weed is not legal. Okay. Well, I guess it's not legal here either, but people still do it.
In Israel, it's definitely decriminalized. I had 4 or 5 years ago, like I had a policeman stop me we were outside a club and puff pass situation. And the only thing he did was and this was a dick move, because either it's illegal and you take me to jail, or you leave me the fuck alone and let me smoke my joint. But he didn't. He took it out like someone's mouth, threw it on the floor, stamped it out with his feet, and we were so pissed. We didn't have another one. But
That's bad manners.
you know, like it's pretty decriminalized. It's pretty chill, but it's crazy. Like when I was in Singapore, like for token 2049, like usually I'm used to more lax marijuana attitude, but over there, like you know, they'll hang you if they catch you with the banky in your hand. So you know that's sort of the arbitrage that we have to do. But enough about that. I want to hear about Poolz and why you guys kind of chose to integrate COTI. What's in it for the ecosystem, you know, and what comes next.
So first of all, yeah, over the last few months, we've been working closely with the COTI team, with Brad, as they prepared for their long-awaited mainnet launch. Yeah? And now, since it's live, this partnership just was just, let's say, natural. Regarding COTI, first of all, it brings something powerful to the table. From our point of view, it's one of the fastest, lightest, and most scalable privacy layers in Web3. It's really built for real-world use, and it fits perfectly into our vision of supporting forward-thinking next generation projects. Let's say, yeah. We are happy to support for sure their vision and to offer the Poolz community seamless and private experience. Regarding the IDOs, so how people, I guess, many users from the community, our listeners are interested how they can join IDOs on COTI network, yeah, in collaboration with COTI. They just should join our website, go to pools.finance, just connect your AVM wallet and ensure it supports COTI network as well. Select the COTI powered IDO from the dashboard. We will soon launch more projects on COTI when let's say the integration will be done. A user must complete the QIC because we require it in Poolz. We are using for that the third party's application, blockpass.com, so it's easy to complete it. Just commit your funds during the IDO period and claim your tokens on COTI directly via Poolz Finance near the listing event, as per vesting.
You make it sound so simple. Just do this and then that and then that.
We're gonna get a demo. We're gonna get a demo in a second. But
I'm not even going there this time. I'm sorry, dude. That like honestly, I'm sorry to say it, but like you just said,
we will get the demo soon for that. We will get the demo soon for that.
Do you have like a write-up, step-by-step instruction on how to do this or something like that? I mean, I'm sure Cora can
we have it on our website. It's related to absolutely all networks, not just for COTI. Let's say it's very similar. Yeah, for all networks we are collaborating with. So it's very simple for a user to use it. We have one of the simplest, let's say, platforms.
Do you want to give us a demo of that?
Make it sound complicated, okay?
Currently, I cannot, but for sure we will leave all the information in our community in Telegram.
Oh, I thought we were getting a demo. I said demo guaranteed.
No,
advance for us.
No, currently I don't. I cannot
you
show
gotta
you
do
exactly
this
process.
Like what else is that instead of a demo and like a, I don't know, insider information or a dance or a joke or like some sort of performance art. What do you prefer, Mati?
No, we're good. We're good. I'm not gonna press for a demo this time. Let's leave that. But suffice it to say, as Andrei has pointed out, Poolz.finance is rather designed for intuitiveness. So if anybody's out there who has experience and wants to try it out, let us know if you think it was easier or not easy. Where did he go? Oh man, we lost another one.
He's
I would like to also to share some information to the project. Let's say who want to do fundraising. on Poolz for projects which will be launched on COTI, yeah, for sure, and how they can apply for IDOs on Poolz. If, let's say, building on COTI, they just have to refer to our program Momentum X. It's the #1 accelerator for startups exploring Web3 privacy. It's built on COTI, and I will leave the form. I'm not sure on X or on YouTube. How do you prefer? Where do you prefer to leave this
Where do I
form? The link?
prefer? That's a good question. We need a way for people to like share links and have them be clickable. But I think we have the momentum. Momentum will retweet this after, and then we'll get the form out. But drop it to me in the link in Telegram so that I know I have the right one.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so this is I left you the link for the form, yeah, program application, and everyone who is building on COTI, feel free to apply here, and for sure it will be reviewed by the GG team.
Do we have any COTI IDOs cooking?
Yeah, for sure it will be some.
Yeah, so what's the ETA on those? Like, when can I want to get them. I bridged to COTI the other day. I'm going to start like adding more on COTI because I hosted the Momentum Space a couple weeks ago.
Let's
and now
say-
you guys and we go, yeah.
Community just have to follow our socials, COTI and Poolz. Follow us on Twitter, on Telegram, and stay tuned for announcements.
Stay tuned. We're not even getting not a demo, not an alpha. Like,
No alpha.
I'm dry here, bro. Like a desert over here.
We're doing a TGE in a couple of months. Is that something that might be relevant?
Yes, for sure.
Yeah, Mati, you should deploy.
So let's say most of the projects are approaching us around 1 or 2 months before listing. So we're speaking now about public round. If we will speak about private round, for sure at least 3 months before listing. Better to contact us.
Awesome. Yeah, I'll definitely have you on with my co-founder Matt Rich, he's a genius as far as tokenomics are concerned, and he'll be the main brain behind the token.
Yeah, and GM to the Momentum X team, like Momentum X, as we mentioned, is Momentum X is an accelerator for COTI project to kind of build. I've had a space with them. I hosted a bunch of COTI projects 2 weeks ago, and I was mind blown by the different use cases, the variants of projects that are coming to build on COTI, whether it's gaming. Who knew that gaming needed privacy, but it does. Whether it's an AI, obviously, and that, Mati, you should definitely speak to the COTI team because private AI is imperative. And as we saw today, private DeFi is everything. We do not want to expose all your data, all your information to everyone, right? When you're talking about money and finances, you want to keep it private, you want to keep it under wrap. And more specifically, I think one thing that I was mind blown about COTI is the privacy that is customizable over there. So you don't need to have, something like Secret Network. When I was, checking that out, everything was private by default. With COTI Network, you can choose how to configure your app so that only select parts are private. So you could have private balances, for example, if you're a game, private cash balances or stablecoin balances, but the point leaderboard can be public, whatever it might be. Your loyalty points on chain for a DeFi app could be public, but the actual balance that you have could be private. So COTI allows those customizable, areas, and that could even, serve an IDO space as well, like where you have.
It just out the wall question: are you guys part of the decentralized AI agent alliance from Luke Hearn? I'm be very happy to make the introduction there because we're members at Cora, and they're moving forward everything that has to do with AIs and privacy and blockchain.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it'd be great to catch up afterwards for sure. Always good to create a connection live on the space.
Oh, absolutely.
What's
What we do.
What's this council? I want to.
Well, when we're not dealing with scammers, then we actually build stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, to your point as well, I think I just want to land on two things, because I know we'll wrap up kind of shortly, but you mentioned like composability, right? Like flexible privacy, opt-in privacy. That's very important to us. And I do want to reinstate that, at our core, we are an Ethereum layer 2 that is very fast, very lightweight, and very cost effective. And so, fully transparent, traditional, if you want to say, Web3 applications are more than welcome on COTI. And, we have an enormous community that would love to kind of leverage those applications. We do not require privacy as a prerequisite. We do not mandate it. It is definitely an opt-in composable choice for a developer, and by extension to a user. So to your point, Dudu, if you're building out an application, there are parts that you might want to be private. There are parts that you might not want to be. If you're a DAO, you might want people's votes to be private so that they vote in their true sense and not to the bias of the public opinion. But the result should be verified and should be publicly available. That's okay. So builders should be able to compose privacy, and we give you that flexibility. By extension, you should also offer that to a user, right? So a user can choose whether their transactions are private or not. They can choose whether their balances are private or not. And the actions that they take within your applications should also, can offer that flexibility too. So I just want to reinstate that we offer privacy as a service. We do not mandate it. And you do not have to use it in its entirety or not at all. It's entirely up to you how you customize your build.
Epic. I think that's a good treatment of the subject of customizable privacy as a service. Is cool. Everyone loves as a service, right? Like so you're going to have as a service, and just like multiple stacked on top of one another. We are getting to the end of our time. Mati, Brad, Andrei, thank you so much for a beautiful way to spend an hour. And I look forward to, seeing all the IDOs, the projects that come through this integration. Obviously, COTI mainnet, as you mentioned, went live a month ago, and already the projects are running or rushing. I would love if you guys got a Kaito leaderboard. That would be sick, because I'm talking about COTI a lot. And if you guys could get some mind share, that's a good place for COTI to be. Like, I think that's kind of a must-have for projects in today's landscape. But enough about that. We will be back next week. Mati, any final closing thoughts? What do you think the next 7 days will bring us before we meet our viewers again?
I will be in Dubai next week. Enjoying the extreme sunshine and heat, as well as the Token 2049 conference. And I do believe that there's a fair chance we'll be enjoying that conference during a massive breakout pump. We'll see though. The disclaimer always applies. Past performance is not indicative of future results, and don't invest more than you can afford to lose. But yeah, I'm about as bullish as I've ever been about these markets right now after this dip.
Cool. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mati. Thank you, Andrei. Thank you, Brad. We will see you guys.
And great guest today, Dudu. Chapeau. Both of you. I'd love to see you after class.
Hey, stay and talk to me after class.
That's
Bye,
been a
cheers, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Peace.